This is the Nintendo company brochure for 2018. So I've done a few videos in the past on other company brochures that Nintendo has given out to potential employees or students, anybody that basically goes to Nintendo and kind of looks to get an interview or looks to get hired at Nintendo. They would give out these brochures. In the past videos I did, they were from like 2007, 2008. So it was really interesting to look back on older videos or older brochures from Nintendo and see what they were showing off back then. But this is more recent, 2018, and they changed it up a lot. Obviously, this is like a set of word cards that they gave out. Previously, there would be like a big full brochure, like a booklet type thing. But for 2018, they decided to go with this word card setup, and it's kind of like the ABCs of Nintendo in a way. So I thought it'd be fun to just look at this and go through it. And I always love looking at these brochures because there's always interesting aspects to them that are, you see concept art that you never see anywhere else or things like that. So just thought we could go through this and check it out. I haven't looked at this in a long time, so it'll be interesting for me to also see what they kind of put in here in terms of like, they kind of like represent each letter for something that goes on at Nintendo. So, I mean, let's take a look on the cover here. You got Mario, it says word cards and Nintendo Company Limited 2018. I love collecting these things, by the way. They're so unique and so different, and I feel like not a lot of people know about these or see them, so it's fun to kind of like look at them. But we can flip through. As you can see, starts with the letter A. You guys can like play along in the comments and kind of guess what word you think represents each letter. So you can see here, letter A represents action. And this is Mario here. Obviously concept art from Super Mario Odyssey. This was in 2018, so the Switch 1 had just been out for about a year. And really cool concept art. You can see Cappy up in the corner there, but this is Mario obviously throwing around Cappy and doing a bunch of different actions, as it would say. So B here, B colored like Luigi green. You got some Splatoon icons. I wonder if there's anything Splatoon related after this. Kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Oh, there is. There is something Splatoon related. B is for balance. Maybe it's work-life balance, something like that. I don't know. But again, these brochures are cool because you get to see things that normally you wouldn't see inside Nintendo. Like this is obviously someone modeling a little squid kid at Nintendo. So cool to see that. All right, letter C. What could it be? I don't know. Continuity. C. Communication. That makes sense. Obviously, when you're working at a game company, you got to communicate with each other and work with your whole team. So this obviously makes sense. Let's see if there's anybody here that I recognize. I'm not sure if I recognize anybody specific in this picture, but let me know what you guys think and if you see anybody that you recognize. D, this is like a nice calligraphy version of the letter D. What could it be? D is for, I don't know, something Japanese. I should have looked this up beforehand, but I don't know what any of this says, unfortunately. Maybe there's something else over here. Oh, no. Maybe it's D for Direct, Nintendo Directs. Who knows? This is Mr. Kimishima, the CEO and president of Nintendo. He was the interim CEO, I guess, after Iwata passed, and I guess he was still the CEO and president of Nintendo after in 2018. So got a picture of him there, and I think this section is probably a message from Kimishima himself, because all of these brochures usually have some sort of letter or message from the president of Nintendo, and that's kind of to tell potential employees what Nintendo's all about and what their like kind of their goal is and everything. So I'm guessing that's what this is. Next up we got E, and I recognize those designs. Those are from ARMS, so could be something ARMS related here. Exciting, and ARMS is certainly an exciting game, I think, and you can tell these developers here are having a lot of fun. I like that you see like there's a Mario Kart trophy in the background there. Are those helmets? I'm not sure what that is, but pretty cool to see that there. F, what is that? I don't know what that is. I'm wondering if that's like a Breath of the Wild concept thing that they did in 2D. Oh my god, I think it is. F is for field. So I believe at a game developers conference, they showed this off. This was kind of like a concept that they created for Breath of the Wild, showing how the game was really, really inspired by the original Legend of Zelda, where you could go explore and kind of just do everything, you know, at your own pace. And this GDC presentation was really, really cool. I highly recommend checking out that talk about Breath of the Wild and everything that they did for this. And that's really cool. F for field. G, maybe games, video games. I don't know. G is for global. It looks like this is a multi-page thing here. So obviously Nintendo, globally known. And this is representing that. You can see everybody around the world plays Nintendo, and they want people to know that for sure. Just some pictures of other people playing the Switch. Man, it's crazy that the Switch is, at this point, like almost 10 years old, and the Switch 2 is already out. But yeah, it was a heck of a time. Next up, we got H. Interesting little H there. H is for hand. Yes, ergonomics and controllers, huge part of Nintendo. And I think it's really cool here that you can see that they were working on the Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch and kind of the concepts behind it. I'm sure this is a pre-production version of the Pro Controller, but Nintendo knows how to make a controller. Like, say what you will, they can make something that's very comfortable to hold. With a few exceptions here and there. N64, a little weird. NES wasn't super comfortable either, but Nintendo overall, they know how to make a pretty good controller. Next up, we got I. Inspiration, maybe? Oh, idea, kind of similar to what I'm thinking of, but ideas are all something that, you know, very important in game development. And this is a really cool page, I think, because you get to see, like I said, these little concept art, like little post-it note drawings of, I'm not even sure what all this stuff is. I mean, there's Mario right there. You can see a little mushroom. That looks like an Undertale character, but who is that? I don't actually know who that is. Just some random art there, which is cool. And then you've got the style of Splatoon. Splatoon's always been known about its style, and, you know, I for ideas with the styling of Splatoon, which is pretty cool. And then there's more stuff here. So like the ideas section, very big, very important, obviously. These are it's from Breath of the Wild. I forgot what these are called. They're not called the Guardians, are they? No, the Guardians are the ones that shoot lasers at you. These are kind of like the temples in Breath of the Wild. And like I said, I forgot what they're called, but it's cool to see the concept art here. I'm not sure if these are in other art books or anything like that. You got more Breath of the Wild concept art here, the Lynels and other enemies. Very cool to see. And even more concept art, which is super, super cool. I'm all about this stuff. So these are like, this is like all the advertisements, I believe, in Mario Kart. Oh no, this is ARMS. This is ARMS stuff. Cool. So like different icon elements and things like that in ARMS. Very interesting. Different character portraits in ARMS. Forgot what this green guy was called. I had not played ARMS in so long, but I do appreciate ARMS and I really do enjoy it. And then you've got some Super Mario Odyssey concept art here. Very cool. What is this? What are these cars this little city is supposed to represent? I really like the art style there. Some of this stuff I feel like absolutely did not make it into Odyssey. Obviously, like run around airplanes and things like that. That's super cool to see. I wonder if they'll use any of these ideas in a new Mario game in the future. Ideas, you know? Continue with the ideas theme. And then this is freaking awesome. So, I mean, I wonder if these were some concept costumes for Odyssey, because Super Mario Odyssey obviously has a ton of different costumes, and the football costume did make it in. I think there was a space suit, maybe not this specific space suit, but there was a space suit, I believe. But it would have been really cool to see some of the other ones. DK Mario would have been hilarious. You've got the airplane Mario. Oh man, just a lot of different cool outfits for Mario that could have been in the game, and it would have been really interesting to see all that stuff. So big section for ideas. Next up we got J, and not a lot of J words that I can think of. Joy, maybe? Joy-Con, hey, kind of got that one. So this is actually really cool to see. This is like a see-through version of the Joy-Con. I wish they would make stuff like this for, you know, the general consumer, but this is obviously for concept and pre-production purposes. Cool to see that. Joy-Con's obviously still around, the Joy-Con 2. K, I really don't know what K could be. Kyoto, obviously. Okay, that makes sense. Nintendo's headquarters are in the beautiful city of Kyoto, so that makes complete sense. They were, I believe they were founded there. Don't quote me on that. They could have been founded in a different city, but I know their headquarters are currently in Kyoto. So K for Kyoto makes sense. L, what could L be? That's Labo. So could L be for Labo? Yes, it was Labo, man. It's hard to kind of like think about Labo now and how much of a it wasn't a failure per se, I don't think, but it definitely did not become as big as I think Nintendo wanted it to be. Super cool concept, obviously using cardboard to create different things, but it just didn't catch on the way that Nintendo wanted to. And like this robot kit, I mean, this is kind of cool to see, like designing these kits initially. I bet that was such an interesting and fun process for developers to actually design these cardboard kits and things like that. I love this developer actually wearing a helmet while playing the Labo vehicle kit here. Got the fishing rod back there. Really cool to see these. And like I said, I know Nintendo wanted Labo to be bigger, but they're kind of using it off for different things now, like with the virtual console, not the virtual console, the Virtual Boy thing for Nintendo Switch Classics on Switch 2. So they're still using it a little bit here. And we got more pages for Labo. Obviously, the developers had a ton of fun here working with Labo. As you can tell, like, man, they're just having a blast. I wish that robot kit was more adjustable, because it did not fit me very well. It was definitely made for smaller kids. But just lots of fun, you can tell the folks over at Nintendo had creating those Labo kits and working on it. Oh, that's super cool too. That's on the robot kit. So they definitely wanted you to like make your own designs and try to like customize the Labo kits more, but I don't know how many people actually did that. M, I wonder what M could stand for. It couldn't be who I think it is, right? It couldn't be. Oh, it is. It's Mario. Surprisingly, only one page for Mario, and it's also funny that they kind of used the Donkey Kong key art here. What do you call it? It's the marquees from the arcade, because technically this is Jumpman. He was known as Jumpman here, not Mario, but still, obviously Mario, huge part of Nintendo. So, gotta have that in there. N, is it Nintendo? Does it stand for Nintendo? That looks like the N from the logo, so I think N obviously stands for Nintendo. And this is, again, kind of looking back at their history a little more. Nintendo, as most people know at this point, started off making Hanafuda playing cards and just different kinds of playing cards, regular playing card sets. That's how they got their start in the industry, and they really respect their history. They always show off. They still sell like Hanafuda cards and things like that, and toys are a big part of their market now too. So obviously Nintendo cares about their history, and this is I believe their Kyoto headquarters building here. So, what could O stand for? Off? Time off? Another like work-life balance type thing. Obviously they want to show people having fun, eating lunch there, playing some soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. I assume that means like kind of time off and spending time doing things other than work. P. Interesting black background here for P. What could that be? Professional, yes. The people over at Nintendo, obviously they are all extremely professional and very talented in what they do. Not too many companies can say they put out the quality of product that Nintendo does, and they 100% are super detailed. Everything is very polished, and that comes from their professionalism with P. This is cool too. What is this? Looks like some sort of motion capture type thing, which is interesting to see. I can't really get an idea of what they're getting a motion capture for, but that is something interesting there. There's Q. Quality, yes. So quality and professionalism kind of go hand in hand here. And, Wario represents quality like nobody else. Really. WarioWare, Wario Land. You can't go wrong with Wario. Wario himself is the epitome of quality. So obviously having him here makes so much sense. I'm trying to think where this concept art is from. I wonder if it's a Mario Party game or something like that. I don't actually know. And then here is Rosalina, Sub D Rosetta Hair, 2K. That's a Photoshop design file. Interesting. Using Photoshop there at Nintendo. But yeah, if you want to like pause these, by the way, I'm sure you could like Google Translate a lot of these notes and these sketches and concept art here and see what they say. I haven't done that, but I'm sure that would be super interesting to see. And there's some more concept art here for things like Odyssey. You see the ship there from Odyssey. Really cool. Really, really interesting concept art here for the ship. All these little details. Amiibo designs and concepts here, which is cool. I have that amiibo, and then this is the Wedding Mario amiibo. Yes, so they made the Wedding Mario, Peach, and Bowser amiibos, which is cool, and that's kind of like a concept version of that. Interesting, because you never see stuff like that either. And then some more ARMS content for quality. ARMS is quality too. Say what you will about the game, but it is quality. I don't think anybody can deny that. R. Don't know. Don't have a guess. Room. Interesting. Interesting word for R. All these different rooms that people at Nintendo work in, I guess. I don't know. Very interesting to see there. S. Social, maybe? Story, no, interesting. So Nintendo's like, I don't think Nintendo, you would say they're super well known for their stories in video games, but obviously things like Zelda, I would even say Metroid, definitely have a focus on story. As you can see here, they focused on Zelda and their storyboards in the background. Very cool. T. T for, I'm gonna say tubular. Surely it must be tubular. No, it's test. That makes a lot more sense. Man, they do say testing here with the Joy-Cons, but you'd think they would have tested those Joy-Con analog sticks a little more for the drift, because that was a huge problem with the Switch 1. Obviously, everybody knows that, the Joy-Con drift. Nothing to report for Switch 2, so hopefully maybe they figured something out, but otherwise, Nintendo's well known for having very durable systems. The Joy-Con issue was definitely one of the few things that was a big problem that they've had. It's interesting to see this. Is that a Switch Lite concept? I cannot tell. Or is that just a Switch 1 little prototype? I would be super interested to know about that because that's cool. I've never seen that. And then you have a Super Nintendo. I wonder if that's for the Super Nintendo Online thing. And then you see a Switch bending there. Very, very durable system. Getting towards the end here, U for ultimate. I don't know. Ultimate. Unique. Yes, unique. That's a word I like a lot. Nintendo does put out a lot of unique stuff. And like I mentioned, the Virtual Boy thing before, they love their history and putting out weird things. And you can see a ton of that weird stuff here. The Game Boy printer. This is like a roulette table. One of their old Pong clones, maybe? A little Twister clone, maybe? Playing cards, Game & Watch, Love Tester. Tons and tons of different toys and items from their past history. Which is very cool to see. And even more on this side. There's that Virtual Boy. Very relevant today. Famicom. I think this is called like the 10 billion. I don't even know. There's the Ultra Hand, which has seen its fair share of love in other video games. But yes, tons of unique and fun items that come out from Nintendo. There's Discoon from the Famicom Disk System. Game Boy camera getting a lot of love in these pictures. Well, this is like a 3D visor for the Famicom. Yeah, they were trying 3D even back then, which is crazy. Twister. Did they like just publish Twister in Japan? That's interesting. V. What could V stand for? Voice. And obviously the voice of Miyamoto. Very influential at Nintendo. So most of these brochures do have a little message from Miyamoto as well, and that must be what this is here. Yeah, obviously feel free, pause it here, translate that, see what Miyamoto has to say for everybody, but voice is for V. And a nice little drawing. I wonder if Miyamoto drew that himself. He is a very good artist, so I would not be surprised if that was drawn by Miyamoto. W. Work, maybe? Just work. Where? Interesting. Okay, they got their own little Nintendo uniforms. Obviously, nobody has to wear like a very specific uniform as we saw in previous pictures in this, but they do have some cool Nintendo specific clothing. X. I have a feeling that they don't have any word for X, and they just have this as the button. The button X. Indeed it is. This is probably something I remember from seeing it a long time ago, but yeah, I mean, the X button for Nintendo, it's important. It's on every controller they've ever made, so I think that's not true. Not on the NES, not on the N64, but on a lot of them. You know, it's on a lot of their controllers, not on the Virtual Boy either. But I digress. Y for YOLO? Youth. Youth. Yes, this is an important part of Nintendo as well. They have a lot of youth at the company. as well as people who have been there for 30, 35, 40 years even at this point. So they try to teach everybody with a lot of the experienced folk that are there, but they do want to also bring in the youthful crowd too. As we can see, more workers here working on Splatoon. And Z, what could Z be? The final letter. Oh, Z's for sleeping. Little Mario there, very cute. And that was that. At the end of most of these brochures is mostly just information about Nintendo as a company and where they are. So I believe that's probably what all this stuff is. Yeah, corporate information, offices and affiliates. Shows where all the offices are, even the Redmond, Washington one. Organizational chart, financial results transition. I believe the top, the black bar is sales and the bottom bar is like net profit. I don't remember exactly what these were. I remembered at one point, but this is definitely like sales and financial results. So there was only 1 year really where they were down in net profit, which was during the Wii U era, it seems. And then they always do have this as well, the history of Nintendo. Like I mentioned, they are very proud of their history, and this kind of goes through some different points in their history by year. Founded, I believe, in 1889. That's the first thing. And then they show off, again, some more of their products in their history here, leading up to the Nintendo Switch. And now we have the Nintendo Switch 2. And just some more things here. These could be like question and answers. I don't really remember exactly, but just information that potential employees might find useful. And then what is this here? It says job types. So all the different positions maybe at Nintendo. Game something there. I can read a little bit of katakana, so I can read the words that are basically in English, and this is like system something, you know, system developer, game developer, I don't know. Network, I don't know, network something. I don't know. I'm a little rusty, obviously. But yeah, obviously these are just different positions at Nintendo. Lots of different pages here. And then kind of like a map of different offices at Nintendo. I don't know. This could be the Kyoto, because I know they have 2 buildings right next to each other in Kyoto. And then good old-fashioned red Nintendo logo here at the end. And that's that. So that was the Nintendo 2018 company brochure. I thought it was really cool. Lots of really cool little bits of art and information in here. I have, like I said, I collect a lot of these. I wanted to do one that was a little bit newer this time, but I do have basically everything from 2006 onwards. So I'll be going through those at some point in the future. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This was fun to go through, and I hope you enjoyed it.